Hello, welcome to the Power of Re, and I am your host, Vance Guy. Nice to see everyone back today. I'm glad to be back myself. It's been a week or so, and I was giving everyone an opportunity to take their time to listen to what I had to say in my last episode about the Power of Re. So once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, as well as checking out me on my first episode. Today, what you can expect to hear is more in-depth things that I've put together, more so on the lines of coping skills, self-talk, stressors, child care, symptoms of anger, some of your parenting skills, learning effective habits, healthy lifestyle, customer service, 12 steps. I have a variety of things that I plan on facilitating on, that I have personal experience with, that I think that will be very helpful to some people out there. And even for those of you that are tuning in right now, if it's not for you, pass it on. Sometimes this information don't get to everybody in a direct channel. Sometimes you got to go around and hear about it from somewhere else. So with that being said, let's get the formalities out of the way. If something's said here that you like, that you were interested in, that was challenging and you understood and heartfelt, man, please do us all a favor. Hit that like button. Don't forget to share. Hit the bell. Give a thumbs up. And most importantly, when I say don't forget to share with your family and friends what was said. Whether you like it or not, it might be something that somebody else is thinking about that you don't even know that's on their mind. So you may hear a little noise in the background because of the enclosure that I'm in. It is very hot today. That's my fan that's going. You may hear some papers rattling, and that's because I'm going to be reading some things that I've put together. It's a workbook that I'm putting some final touches on. So before I even put the workbook out there, you out there in the world are going to start hearing about it right now. So let's get started. Where I like to start at is do a little overview of what the Power of Re is based on. The Power of Re is actually based on it's two key words in it. Re, R-E, and the word you, Y-O-U. And here's why. So you'll hear it as I say it. The Power of Re. It's a 6-step process that I've put together that I live by today. It's complicated. It's difficult at times. Sometimes I want to completely give up, but I just choose not to. So step 1 of a Power of Re is renew. Renew. Change everything about you. Step 2 is rethink. Change the way you think. Step 3, reevaluate. Change the way you pursue your future. Step 4 is reassociate. Change the people you socialize with. Step 5, retrain. Change how you see yourself from within. And step 6, rebuild. Change how you reconstruct yourself from within. So, as I said earlier, it's 2 key words in the 6 steps. Re and the word you. Because it's more so you're renewing yourself, because it's all about you. You know, For some people, when it comes to like 12 Steps program, Alcoholics Anonymous, NA, CA, Al-Anon, all of those things, I am not, by in any shape, form, or fashion, putting them down. I personally know many people who went to those programs, many people who go to those programs today. I'm actually one of them. I was a failure at it in my book, but I went to them because I was doing what I felt that I needed to do to try to get some help for myself, but I was doing it for the wrong reasons. My outlook, my understanding, all of the reasons why I was doing it, it was all about, well, I'm going to do it for you, for my mother. When I first had kids, I was going to do it for my kid because I love my kid. I never knew that, you know what? How can I honestly say I love my kid and I wasn't loving myself? Because honestly, if I don't love myself, how can I show love to somebody else? So the thing is it goes like this. This is what I learned. I have to change me completely, thoroughly, be dedicated to it, be stern about it, be enthused about it. I have to love doing it. I have to, it have to be my all in all, no matter what, on a daily basis. So now when you take that thought right there and say, wow, that reminds me of the old me when I was out there running them streets, chasing them drugs and alcohol, no matter what, I was dedicated to it. I was stayed focused on it. I was determined to get it. No matter what, I was going to get that first hit. I'm going to get that first drink. More times than not, I was successful in succeeding on making that happen. So when I take that same enthusiasm and I put it on something that is being helpful to me, that is allowing me and giving me the roadmap to be helpful to someone else, let's see, my wife, my children, loved ones around me, strangers, I can unconditionally love and help them. And it's not a burden. I can help someone that I see that is less fortunate than me, and it doesn't put a burden on me. I can be in a financial situation. Do I stress about it? Of course. That is human nature for me. That's been me for more years than not. Do I get upset and angry behind it sometimes? Yes, that's been me for more years than not. I am still in the learning process of understanding other ways to cope and deal with stressors and learning new effective habits and effective lifestyles and ways to live. I'm doing that on a daily basis today. However, I just choose not to give up. I choose not to use when the stress behind it becomes abundantly apparent that, hey, I'm struggling. So let's see. To take that struggle, the old me would go get high. That was me. That was a lot of people I was associated with. That was the people I was socializing with. For the most part, you could sit around and drink, smoke crack, shoot needles, and pop pills, and do whatever drug it is of your choice. And for the most part, the conversations you would be hearing was all about a person not understanding of how to cope with life on life terms. Certain bills need to be paid. You short on the bill. Let's see, I'm gonna show you how smart we were. We were short on the bill and we went and spent some money on some crack. Wait, let's see. I'm already $10 short. So if I went and bought a 20 piece, Now I'm $30 short. But that $20 piece was just my first $20 piece. $20 pieces later, I'm not $10 or $20 short no more. I'm $300 short, and I might owe the dope man. But I thought I was smart. So it goes without saying. The power of has given me a new and renewed way of looking at life and looking at my life and how I deal with things and the perspective that I put them in and how I've had to prioritize them. Do everybody like it? Of course not, but that's not my problem. What I can't focus on today is what other people think. Why? Let's see. I can be a millionaire. I can be a billionaire. Let's make it easy. I can have access to all the money in the world I could ever need. I could help all family, all friends. Somebody gonna still have something to complain about. Her house is bigger than mine. He should have got me this. But you forgot I asked you, what did you want? What I should have known. Or some excuse. So, to avoid all of that, I'm not concerned about what somebody thinks anymore. Because it doesn't help pay my bills. It does not give me a peace of mind. It does not help me focus and stay centered in my own personal spirituality. And that's what I'm concerned with. How do I stay centered? Well, I've had to renew me. And I'm working on renewing everything about me on a daily basis. Is it hard? As I said earlier, yes it is. But there's ways to do it. There's some things that you just have to make a habit out of. There are certain changes that you have to make that, trust and believe, you've been knowing about them, but you put other things in front of it because you felt that it was more important, and or because you really didn't want to do that, simply because change brings about things that is unfamiliar to us. It's unfamiliar territory. So we don't want to be bothered with that right now. So we'll put that over there. We'll just deal with this right here. Even though the boss at that job gets on my nerve, although I'm not getting paid enough money, I ain't got time to be doing a resume, going to another job interview, the benefits ain't that great, and then I got all these complaints, but then I'm not doing nothing about it. So what am I complaining about? Or why am I complaining? So that's one of those changes. We have to look at just little things like that and say, well, you know what? On lunch break, instead of me running down to Starbucks, I'm going to go run down to my car because I have an iPhone and do a resume. Upload a resume to Indeed. Make a couple of phone calls. Do you realize what the most important step is to accomplishing the goal? A lot of people already answered that. Some people don't know. The most important step is taking the first step. You have to take a step to get closer to accomplishing that goal. Some people don't understand that because you like the job that you're on. You may have been there 15, 20 years, but that may not be where you're supposed to retire from. That may not be it. I personally know some people right now today that have retired from at least 2 places. Yes, they're almost 60 now. Started when he was like, let's say 18. We'll round it off at 20. He didn't do 25 years. He was able to retire at 20 years. He's multi-talented. He's multifaceted. He's a teacher. He's a facilitator. It's like some of the things that he do, I wonder, where do we have time for himself? But you know what? That's what gets him by. And for some people, that's what works. But sometimes when I'm having a conversation with him, he always tells me in his own way that he would like to do something different. And you know what? Here's how I look at it. Listening to him, I don't want to wait until then to think about and try to do something different, but do something different now. Me sitting in front of this camera, believe me, that's something different for me. Trust and believe me, that's different. This is different. This is not something I could have ever dreamed of, thought about, took into consideration. I'm from that era of go to work. Let me back up. Go to school, get an education, get a college degree, get a job, stay there, get good benefits, retire. You did a great job. Yeah. What? Somewhere after that, you die. That's the era. But wait a minute. You notice I didn't have no fun nowhere. I didn't get the chance to enjoy life, to do none of that. I have learned that there is actually more to life than that. How about owning your own business? How about being able to travel the world? And in today's age, you could take your computer. Oh, my bad. Let's go back to the iPhone. You can take your iPhone with you and conduct business. My iPhone is connected to my computer, my Mac. Anything that's on my Mac, I can see it on my iPhone. So I take my company, my job, my business with me wherever I go. I don't know how to utilize it all because I'm not a computer geek or just haven't learned it all yet, but I have the opportunity. And that's one of the big things about the power of Re, is giving yourself the opportunity to be better than what you are. That's not to say that you're not happy with where you are, but it's to say you're preparing yourself for something better in the future. There is a way to do it. I've been around long enough. The way I was raised was hearing this. Boy, I've been around the corner long enough. I made a few stops by here already. I know what that means now. Right now, I have an opportunity to share with some other people who are willing to take some suggestions and or just listen. Just take a moment to listen with what I've been through and be like, wow, you've been through all of that in a lifetime? Well, you know what? My life is still going, so I'm not done yet. Which is why I'm focusing on trying to be in a better space of sharing this information unconditionally so that the generations behind me can have a better opportunity at understanding that, you know what, you don't have to worry about getting a handout. You don't have to worry about other people taking care of you if you do the right thing and take care of yourself, put yourself in the best space for you. After you find out who you are, who, what, when, where, and why about yourself. The power of Re, when you start thinking about rethink, I wrote this page based on rethinking what I've already thought about. And for the most part, what it discusses is, today I sit around a lot of times and think about things that my mom said to me when I was younger, and I really didn't want to hear it. I was too busy with trying to go outside, play with the other little homies, or just be out in the streets. And who is she to tell me something? I don't like her no way. She wouldn't let me go with them when they went to the Sizzler, when they went to the beach, and I was holding resentments. And I was smart. I knew everything as a little kid. So the thing is, I do a lot of rethinking about stuff I already thought about. And I find myself sometimes talking to my mom, knowing that she's no longer here with us on this earth, but I feel like she can hear me, because when I'm struggling with getting through something, sometimes just talking to her, I find myself finding a way of going around it or under it. Sometimes it ain't about going through something. Just go around it. Or stand still. Let it pass. Wow. Sometimes I wish I had to listen to her, because there's a lot of lessons that's because I wasn't paying attention. Some things I could have avoided in life. It was wrong of me to hold a resentment against my mother. She did the best she could with what she had. And here I am complaining because of what I wanted. Rethinking what I've already thought about. When it comes to reevaluate, I've had to change the way I pursue my future. Oh yeah, the classic one. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer. Well, I want to be a long-haul truck driver. It didn't turn out that way. And then I was lost, as though I knew nothing else or couldn't figure out nothing else. So I was on the path that I was on. Let me tell you, I was going to be the biggest successful drug dealer in Southern California. And then I woke up wearing those one-size-fits-all bracelets, looking up at a cookie sheet, on lockdown, being told what to do, where to go, when I had to come back in from the yard, and things of that nature. That's how smart I was. However, in high school, I was handed a scholarship to go to Grambling University on a full scholarship for music. But I turned it down because I was going to be that badass drug dealer. See how smart I was? Reassociate. This one, step forward, oh yeah, a lot of hurdles. Because I've built a lot of relationships with people, family, friends, enemies, whatever you want to call it, that I had to let them all go. Now, when I say let them all go, excuse me, when I say let them all go, that does not mean that I just stop socializing with all these individuals, period. However, what I had to do was separate myself from the activities that they were partaking in socially. Even if it was something as simple as, let's go bowling and have a few beers. It's not for me. Hey, homie, won't you come over and kick it? You know, the Super Bowl coming on. We barbecuing. Got some big food going. You know, I got the bud. And we're going to have some drinks. Not for me. Now, when I say that, that included family too. Right now, as I sit here, I have family that live less than 20 minutes away from me. I very seldom, I'm not going to even say see them. I very seldom even talk to them. I ain't mad at them about nothing. I ain't hating on them about nothing. It's just that we live two different lives. That's all. We live two different lives. They live in their life and I'm living mine. And there's certain things that go on with them when they have social gatherings that I just don't partake in, because it's a part of my change. It doesn't have to be about them. And that's where I used to make my mistake at earlier in my life. Trying to do some changing for other people. No, let's see. The path that I was on, this is why it was no good for anybody outside of me, because I kept being in that same circle of missing in action, which how can I be there to help family from behind the wall? So for me to stop doing that, I had to stop going there. When I figured out what was causing me to go there, I had to cut that out. And to cut that out, I had to cut them out. But see, the thing is, the space that I'm in today, if they called me and they needed me and it was an emergency, I could stop what I'm doing and get there. No questions asked. That's the difference with where I am today and where I was yesterday. And I feel good about that. I can make that choice. And I can say, if I'm not in a position to go be helpful, I can say that. They may not like that, but if I'm not able to help and I tell you that, really there's no need for you to really even be upset, but you can if that's what you would like to do. Choice is yours. If I can't help, I can't help. If I can, I'm going to be there. Retrain. I had to change how I see myself from within. I truly believe today that because of the resentments that I held against my mother, because of what I thought she should have done that she didn't do when I wanted her to do it, it caused me to have self-doubt, low self-esteem, my connection with the spirits, with the higher powers in the universe. It just, it caused an attraction to negativity. Today I don't have that attraction anymore. And I feel good about that. Because when you have an attraction to negativity, it tends to cause the universe to not put people in your space that you feel that you need to become a better person. Well, the universe don't want you spewing your negativity on good people. So the universe don't put the good people in your circle. So you miss out. And just, again, personal experience. You know. Rebuild. I had to change how I reconstruct myself from within. This one's kind of easy because I put it last on purpose. Because I used to always say I was changing for someone else and I was not being successful. Now that I'm changing for me, I notice the difference. I'm able to go buy Pampers. My wife told me the other day, babe, I think we need to get one more box of pull-ups for the baby. Okay. And then when we was talking about the gas prices, matter of fact, because of the field that I'm in, I recently heard about how these contractors are having a hard time filling a void because people don't want to drive like 2 hours away because of the gas prices. You know, right now I'm looking and seriously considering at least having a conversation about how long is the project, because you know what? I refuse to allow what the world is doing to dictate what I do in my work. Here's the thing. If I'm not working on a daily basis, let's say 2 to 4 days a week, 8-10 hours a day, maybe that much, if I'm doing that. And I'm just giving you an example. And if I'm driving 2 hours one way each day, and I'm working every day, maybe some Saturdays, let's just say for the next 6 months period, I think I'd rather the latter, the last one, because I'll definitely make a whole lot more money. That's including paying for the gas. So I don't know. That's just, see, this is what I mean by reconstructing myself from within. I'm actually taking the time to consider things, brainstorm on things, plan things out, look at things from different angles, investigate the stuff before I get involved in it, trying to see what would be best for me, because what's best for me is what's going to be best for my family. So that's where I am with that. So basically what I just did was I went through all the 6 steps of the Power of Re. I did a whole lot of talking to kind of give a overview of the 6. Because what I would like to do in my next episode is I'm going to rehash the 6 Power of Re, but I'm going to go into the workbook, more in the workbook. The Power of Re is in the workbook, but that's first. Because here's the thing. You can't work on your coping skills if you don't have the Power of Re down. See, because the way society have taught you, I can pull out one of my books on the shelf right there and tell you about coping skills all day long. That's what they've been teaching me. Same thing they taught me. That's why those books are on the shelf. And that's where they're going to stay. unless I need to pull something out just to give you an example of how the power of read is a lot different than the book. I can pull out a book, some paperwork on self-talk. I can pull out some paperwork on anger, child care, parenting, right there on the shelf. That's not what I teach. It's not what I facilitate. Reason being is because I've already been through it. If you take the time, if anybody who's looking and listening are going to some self-help groups, self-help programs, here's a great one to look at. If you're in the 12 steps, let me ask you this. Do you recall when you go to one of the meetings or your first meeting you go to, they tell you, going to the 12 steps, they can help you get back what you once had? Let me ask you a question. Do you really want back what you once had? What you once had is what got your ass in trouble. So why do you want that back? See what I mean? Do you realize when you, because a lot of people ask this or bring it up, isn't this a spiritual program? Talking about the 12 steps, right? No. Just because it says God, that doesn't mean that it's spiritual. But it says God, I think, in the first 3 steps, I believe it is. And the serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity and this, that, and the other, right? Check this out. Do your own investigation. Bill and Bob, who created and started, they say, the 12 steps. When you go in depth and do some research, there's this guy, I believe it's Bill. Bill knows the guy, and the guy is the one that helped Bill and them put the book together. He was a Christian. He was a Christian author. Heavy into church. They also used to hold church meetings at Bill's house. You want to do some more investigation? Check this out. The Life Recovery Bible. Oops. It shows you where all the 12 steps derive from the Bible. So, is it a spiritual program? I don't know. Depends on how you see it. How do I see it? I see it as it was something that did not work for me. That's it, and that's all. I'm suggesting you do your research. That's all. Here's another way for you to help yourself. When you look at books, or should I say when you get books to read, see how old those books are. This is 2022. If you got a book that was done in 1999, that book is over 20 years old. So a lot of things have changed since then. That is not to say that you can't take the content or context, one of those two, from the material and use them for yourself. It's not to say that. Look at the stuff that I'm talking about. I'm 56 years old. But this has been a personal life experience. This has not been, what I'm sharing with you is not something that I've heard from other people and I've been gathering information and I put it together. The information I'm sharing with you is stuff that I have personally done and have personally experienced. And I'm just sharing all the different storms and tornadoes that I've personally been through, all the battles, scars that I've been through, all the wars I've been through, and how I've survived them. And today, how I'm choosing to walk a path to not have to deal with that ever again in life. Making better choices, teaching better choices, giving an alternative to what most people think is a thing to do. In the end, what you choose to do is your choice. As I've said before, even on my podcast, hey, I'm not perfect by no means, but I'm happy. My soul feel good. I love me today, and that's what I like. You know, I didn't notice. I thought I loved me when I had to smoke a blunt and watch Eddie Murphy, you know. I thought that's what made me laugh. That what made me laugh. What made me laugh was his ass is funny. I can laugh at Eddie Murphy and all I had was a sip of Folgers coffee. See? Matter of fact, thinking of marijuana, really? Y'all don't know what the hell y'all smoking today. Some crap liquid stuff they done poured in the ground. That marijuana is an herb, a green tree. I don't even think there's no green weed anymore. Everything got hairs and follicles, and you can be on a freeway and smell it. Y'all think y'all smoking what you call the bomb? That's what it is. That's what works for you. Let me tell you what works for me. And I'm going to get off the air for now. What works for me is getting up in the morning, providing for my family, and feeling good about who I am and loving me. Teaching my children financial literacy. Teaching my children that even when I pass away, they don't have to worry about life insurance, because that ain't what I'm leaving them. What I'll be leaving them is some assets. They won't be fighting over nothing. Oh, it was $100,000 and only $40,000 got spent, so it should be $60,000. We ain't gonna have none of that. Assets. Giving them a new way to think. Have you guys ever noticed in school, they don't teach them how to write checks? They don't even teach them how to sign their name? So how are you supposed to go into a bank and get a bank loan? They don't teach them how to do auto mechanics. They don't teach them how to do repair cars. They don't have cooking classes for the most part no more. You know, but they have I forgot what it's called. That new math. It looks like a Christmas tree when you're done with it. But I gave my daughter the answer already 30 minutes ago and short formed it because 2 from 5 leaves 3. And she was still working the problem out. And when she figured it out and she had to scratch her head a few times, she came up with 3, but it was a Christmas tree. They sending them through all of that for what? Oh, because education is to teach our generations to come to be great workers and followers instead of leaders, entrepreneurs, owners of their own businesses. And that's another reason why today my children will be homeschooled by one of the best teachers that I know, their mother. See, because before there was this educational process they have in these schools, our ancestors taught at home. And they were smart enough to do a whole lot of things that they chose to do. And I don't think they turned out too bad, because as we're finding out, they're the creators of everything. So it goes to show you how smart they were. Yeah. So why not let some of that got handed down get handed to my children? So with all that said and done, this is how we're going to end this. If ain't nobody told you today, family, I love you. I'll see you again, hopefully sooner than later. If you would like to see some more in-depth information on the services that I do provide, please don't hesitate to go to www.don'tbeafraidtochange.com. Please feel free to leave a message. Please feel free to call the business number. I will, if I'm not busy and can't answer then, leave a message in the number. I will give you a call back, and I can talk to you about whatever it is you would like to discuss. You might want to drop a topic that you would like for me to speak on. It's not a problem. And you know what? I actually feel good about what was said today. I learned something. I didn't know I felt that bad. Man. But that's okay. So, once again, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you, and thank you. And I will see you next time. And until we meet again, one love.